Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone out there. I know what you're probably saying, I'm a few days late to the party, but I've set my clock to Paraguay time, so according to that theory, I'm probably a few days early. But for what it's worth, I hope everyone's had a great new year and are looking forward to 2025 with positive expectations and vibes. We certainly are. We've taken a couple of months away from the camera to do a little bit more talking and a lot more listening because things are changing both here in Paraguay and indeed around the world. We thought that nobody would notice, but we do very much appreciate. We've been contacted by quite a few people who have wondered where we've got to, and no need to worry, we're still here, alive and well. Family are really happy and we're feeling really blessed to have the opportunities that we know are ahead for us in 2025 and beyond. And we've also decided to change the name of our channel. The previous name, there was actually a deeper meaning to it, and at some stage I did intend to unpack that, but as it turned out I never got around to it, and in the end I thought it was just easier to simplify the name, and I think it more aptly describes what we're really about, and that is living life in Paraguay. And our hope is that it's of general interest to anyone, but we have particular emphasis on anyone that's looking to do what we've done, either moving to Paraguay or any other like-minded country. And as we've spoken about in previous videos, from Guatemala to Paraguay, we have seen many people in the process of trying to do what we're doing right now. And our ethos and mission is to ensure that whatever we experience and whatever we see other people experience, that we at least shed some light on these things, because it's really important for people in terms of their journey and pathway into making it to a new country. And between the time we made our last video and now, we've been really trying hard to get across the line the property purchase that we spoke about in an earlier video. But like all things Paraguay, just when you think that you've got everything sorted and you've got all the ducks in a row, there is often something that crops up that at least delays the process. And indeed, that has happened in this case. That is quintessential Paraguay. It's nothing unusual, and it's just something that we need to continue to work through. Thankfully, in that particular case, because we did take our time and we got some really good advice and guidance, it's just a minor pothole in the road rather than a gaping sinkhole that has swallowed us whole. And that's really the difference. When you're making any decisions like what we've done here, it really is about taking your time, getting the good advice and proceeding with caution. So we had planned to be knee-deep in cement, dirt and foundations, busy on our new property, but at least to this point, we're still waiting. But in lieu of that, we've had a number of other things on the whiteboard for a number of months, some projects that we thought would be really fun to get to at some time. And so we do have some really exciting things scheduled for 2025. What we intend to do is to shed some light on some areas of living in Paraguay, settling in Paraguay in a way that you've never seen before on any other channel. We have some really interesting topics in mind to cover in future videos, some areas that are really important for anyone that's thinking about doing what we've done, purchasing properties and what's available and how to proceed down that path, as well as many other things and side interests and just random things that catch our eye and attention here. It's a really interesting country. We've had a really interesting ride to date, and indeed I think 2025 is going to be a cracker. And we also have a really big project in mind that we're really excited about. We think it'll have universal interest, and it will be something that I think could really change the way people think about purchasing land and establishing themselves, particularly in a place where they're allowed to do so, where you're allowed to move forward without all of the impediments that are put in place in some other places that we've lived. Because part of our mission in coming to Paraguay and sharing the information we do on this channel is because it's our belief that there are other ways to do things, other ways to live. If we didn't think that, we would have stayed back in the place we were formerly living. We're obviously here for a reason, and part of that reason is to explore the potential for our family and hopefully others to find a better life, to do things in a way that they perhaps would never have dreamt of. But I'm certain that there is untapped potential in all of us to create the kind of life, the kind of home the kind of future for our families that perhaps we couldn't have entertained in places where we previously lived. There is an unparalleled level of opportunity in many countries to pursue a lifestyle that isn't possible in many other places. But we always temper that with reminding people of the reality that for every plus, there's a potential minus. You really need to keep your wits about you, because with freedom comes a great deal of opportunity to get yourself in the poo. You can really go off track if you're not thinking hard and strategizing your way forward. So it really is a thinking person's game. We are constantly testing the wind and adjusting our sails, because we realise that as new information comes to us and things change in this place, you have to be on the ball. You can't just go to sleep and just think that it's all going to be okay. So we hope in a tiny way to provide a conduit of useful, relevant, accurate information, free of fluff, pointless drone videos and data that made out of thin air. There's too much of that around, both here in Paraguay and further afield. And that's part of our mission, is to help people navigate through those shark waters, because there's no doubt about it, moving to a new country has a fair share of issues relating to opportunists and people waiting to drag you into whatever little fantasy or thing that they've dreamt up that really is just nonsense. Now more than ever before, people need to make the right decisions. And unfortunately, just in recent weeks, we've seen some more really unfortunate situations where people have taken too much heed on what some people have said and have entered into situations that they surely should not have, and that they will truly regret for the rest of their lives. So those things need not happen. They definitely don't have to happen to anyone that's listening to this channel, because if in doubt, drop us a line. There's no need for anyone to go off half-cocked, make crazy decisions, pass over a lot of money, enter into agreements without absolutely turning over many stones. And that's what we're here to help with. We've turned over a lot of stones, and we hope that that will be of benefit to you for what it's worth. And we also want to play our small part in shaping the way that people come to Paraguay and the way that they approach doing business here. There's a lot of people coming to Paraguay from countries that previously it wasn't so common. And what comes with that is challenges and opportunities. There's challenges because when people come from countries outside of the normal range of countries that you see here in Paraguay, the concern is that they will be a real fish out of water. They won't have a local network to call on, and perhaps they'll be overly biased by the place that they came from and may proceed to make decisions that maybe they shouldn't have made. But there's also a real opportunity, because as people come from places like where we came from and other places, there's an opportunity to shape the way that Paraguay approaches the sale of properties, for example. There is a way of selling a property here in Paraguay and anywhere else that can truly cover everyone's interests. But there's also a way of doing things in Paraguay that can really burn particularly buyers. And that's something that we're hoping to unpack on future videos, because it's really become clear to us that there are certain ways to proceed that people really need to be mindful of. And when we're coming here as buyers, as newcomers, as immigrants, we need to ensure that we proceed in a way that also protects us. And that's not always the case. In fact, it's not uncommon to see that being not the case. And there are too many situations where people have been ripped off and put at a disadvantage because they were told this is the way it happens in Paraguay. Well, we're hoping to play a small part in ensuring that that's not the case so much anymore, and that we introduce better ways of doing business, particularly as it relates to real estate and other big transactions, that will better protect all parties. But that's for future videos and something to unpack. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's for everyone to choose. But the most important thing is that the information is shared. So that's about all to report. As I say, 2025 is going to be a huge year for us. I know it's going to be a huge year for everyone. I think it's going to be a game changer. Fingers crossed and a prayer, and things will work out as they need to be. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight as to where we're at, where we've been and where we're going. Please do stay tuned because there's going to be some really funny, interesting content ahead, and we really appreciate those of you that have come this far on our journey. And it's been really wonderful to receive emails from people and checking in with us, seeing how we're going and reminding us that we need to make another video. That's really cool, and that's what it's all about. Okay, until next time, take care. Ciao.